Hello and welcome to Blackboard Learn Assessing Learners. The objectives of this class are to work with rubrics, create and grade assignments, and then create, deploy, and grade tests. Let's get started with the Rubric tool. To enter the Rubrics tool, open Course Tools under the Control panel on the left side of the screen. From here, select Rubrics. Next, we will want to click Create Rubric. We will need to give the rubric a name. I will name mine Sample Rubric. You can enter a description if you so choose. Scroll down to the Rubric's Detail area. Here you will see the rubric grid where we will list all the criteria for measuring the levels of achievement. You can modify the grid to meet your needs by adding a row or column, changing the rubric type from points to no points, a point range, a percent, or a percent range. We can also modify or change the grid labels and choose how to display the rubric criteria. The default rubric is a 3x3 grid with criteria on formatting, organization, and grammar, and the level of achievement being novice, competent, and proficient. You are able to add rows, add columns, and use the drop-down menus to the right of any word to edit the rubric. Once you've got the rubric set up the way you like it, click Submit. You are able to edit any saved rubric simply by hovering to the right of their name, clicking the drop-down menu, and clicking Edit. Now let's look at how to use a rubric with an assignment. To create an assignment, we'll need to navigate to the part of our course where we want the assignment to be found by students. In this case, I'm going to go to a link on my course menu called Assignments. To create an assignment, I'll hover my mouse over Assessments and then click Assignment. From here, give the assignment a name. I'll call it Sample Assignment. Next, include the instructions for the assignment. Under Assignment Files, you can attach supporting documentation or any other files that need to be utilized by the students to complete the assignment. You can either upload directly from your computer, navigate to the content collection, or use a cloud storage location to attach a file. If you'd like, you can set a due date for when the assignment will be due. This will automatically put the assignment on the Blackboard calendar for this course and for your students to view. Under Grading, you may enter a number for points possible. Let's make this assignment worth 10 points. In order to use a rubric, we will go ahead and add the rubric here. Hover over Add Rubric. You'll also have the option to select a rubric, create a new rubric, or create a rubric from an existing one. Go ahead and click Select Rubric. From the pop-up menu, select the sample rubric we just created. If you'd like to preview the rubric, you can click the Preview button to the left of the rubric's name. Click Submit and the rubric will be attached. Once the rubric has been added, we have some more options when it comes to the rubric. We can remove it, preview it, and we can edit the rubric. Then, we can choose how the rubric is used. You may decide if the rubric will be used for grading or will it be used for secondary evaluation. We can see the date it was last edited and choose whether or not to show the rubric to students. The default is no, but you can choose to say yes and show the rubric with the scores, yes to show the rubric without the scores, or you can show the rubric to students after grading. With our rubric attached, let's move on to submission details. Here you can choose whether the assignment is assigned to individuals or to groups. The portfolio submission is something we'll cover at a later time. If this is a group submission, you will choose the group. Then select the groups that you want to assign this assignment to and move them over to the selected items. If this is just an individual assignment, we'll leave it as individual. Next, we can choose the number of attempts the students will have. You can either choose a single attempt, multiple attempts, or unlimited attempts. If you choose multiple attempts, you are asked to set the maximum number of attempts the student has. You have the option to choose how the attempts are scored using either the last graded attempt, the highest graded attempt, the lowest grade, the first graded attempt, or the average of all grades. The plagiarism tools are the next option to decide on under Submission Details. You are given the option to check student submission against the SafeAssign database. If you decide to use SafeAssign, you then choose whether or not to allow students to view the SafeAssign originality reports for their attempts. You can also choose to exclude the submission to the institutional and global reference databases. Once you have the settings the way you like, close Submission Details and open Grading Options. In Grading Options, you can enable anonymous grading, which will hide the student's name during the grading process for the assignment. You are also able to enable delegated grading. So if you have a graduate assistant, teaching assistant, or fellow faculty member assisting you in your course, you can delegate the grading responsibility to multiple graders. As the instructor of the course, you can reconcile the grades that are given to ensure that the grading is done correctly. Under Display of Grades, you can decide how the grades are shown both in your gradebook and to the students in My Grades. You can choose the primary display to be a score, a letter, a text input, a percentage, or a complete incomplete. You can set this for primary, which is going to display both in your gradebook and to the students through My Grades, and a secondary, which will only be seen by you in the Grade Center. Your next option is to choose to include this in the Grade Center calculations and be shown to students in My Grades. You can also choose to show the average and median statistics for this item to students in the My Grades section. Now you can choose to limit the availability of the assignment and to make the assignment available. If you'd like to limit the access to the assignment, you'll set that with the Limit Availability settings. You can also track the number of views. Once your assignment is set up the way you like it, click Submit. And that's it for Part 1 of Assessing Learners. See you soon in Part 2.